have security with Ahmed Samir still in prison, or with Ala or Bakr or...
Visit Ahmed in prison, and the one who is visiting, and this is what they assured me will happen today. And
Ahmed, free them all! Free Ahmed! Free them all! Free them all! Free Ahmed! Free them all! Free Ahmed! Free them all! Free Ahmed! Free them all!
Je vais vous lire cette lettre en fait parce que c'est plus simple. Et comme nous sommes en face du Palais Royal.
Al-Sisi is here visiting Belgian and European leaders and to present himself as a reformer. So Amnesty International are here to make really clear that the reality that's happening on the ground in Egypt today, and that is the closure of civil society organisations, locking up of human rights defenders and political opponents. Anyone who's peacefully expressing a difference of opinion to the government or seeking their rights can end up behind bars.
Drop the case against Ahmed and dismiss all the charges.
Good morning.
President Al-Sisi is also here to promote himself as a reformer on women's rights, where the reality in the country is that survivors of sexual assault are punished. Women who speak out in Egypt about sexual violence or assault can even be prosecuted under these absurd morality laws. So we really want to show the reality that's happening in Egypt and to encourage EU leaders to speak out on these issues when meeting with President Al-Sisi, and to ensure the lives and the voices of the Egyptian people are put first and foremost in this visit.
Of an overcrowded, dirty cell filled, and I'm really happy to see that Suhaila is able today to count on. It takes a lot of determination and courage.
Look, we are here to show our strong disappointment with the way Europe has been dealing with Egypt's human rights crisis, while other leaders from the continent in Africa who are visiting today have at least received some form of statements, action on the Human Rights Council, sanctions, reaction to the human rights crisis unfolding in their countries. With Sisi, it's been the opposite. He receives nothing but praise, red carpets, arms, political support, and so on. We want this to change. The Egyptian people and the human rights defenders in the country are paying a very high price in terms of freedom and rights for the courageous work in the country, and this must stop, and Europe needs to act for that to happen.
We're going to fight for Ahmed Samir, and we're going to fight for all the political prisoners in Egypt. There are 60,000 and they need to be out.
Waiting a meeting of the EU, AU, and
So thank you very, very much.
Free Ahmed! Free them all! Free Ahmed! Free them all! Free Ahmed! Free them all!
Ethiopia is guilty of genocide. Ethiopia is guilty of genocide. They are genociders. Ethiopia is guilty of genocide. Ethiopia is guilty of genocide. They are genociders. They are genociders. They are genociders. They eat, and the people of Tigray is starving to death. They are. Ce sont des génocidaires. Ce sont des génocidaires. Ce sont des génocidaires. Oui, il n'y a pas de souci. Moi, je respecte votre hôtel. On a l'ambassadrice d'Éthiopie. Elle m'a filmé. Je sais. Voilà.
Maybe a word about what is the aim of Ethiopia. When I met the Ethiopian leadership in February, they really used this kind of language that they are going to destroy the Tigrayans, they are going to wipe out the Tigrayans for 100 years and so forth, which for me referred to very serious human rights atrocities and crimes as well. If you wipe out your national minority, what is it? You cannot destroy all the people, you cannot destroy all the population in Tigray, and I think that's very obvious that we have to react, and because it looks for us like an ethnic cleansing. It is a very, very serious act if this is true.
We have to talk about Ethiopia, because the conflict in the country has further worsened, expanded, producing a devastating humanitarian crisis. It undermines not only the stability of Ethiopia, but on the entire region. Only a political solution can reverse the negative and dangerous dynamics we are seeing now, and all efforts of the European Union and international like-minded actors, notably the African Union, Kenya and the US, should be directed towards achieving a ceasefire and bringing the warring parties to the negotiation table. Only 10% of the humanitarian help needed in the north of Ethiopia is reaching the people in need, only 10%. There are more than 9 million people starving in the north of Ethiopia. And the fight has been very fierce, but more than the fight themselves, it has been grave violation of human rights by both sides. The fight continues nearby the capital. And I want to stress that, being this my last press conference this year, I want to recognize that Ethiopia is one of the issues that we have debated the most this year. And it is also one of my biggest frustrations, because we were not able to react properly to the large-scale human rights violations, mass rapes, using sexual violence as a war arm, killings, and concentration camps based on ethnic belonging. We haven't been able to stop it. And we haven't been able neither to take coercive measures due to the lack of unanimity in the Council.
Time now for the exchange. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has issued an extremely rare admonition to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed over the Ethiopian war. Joining me from Oslo, Norway, to discuss it is Berit Reiss-Andersen, chair of the committee. Berit, thank you so much for being with us. So now here we are, and the war in Tigray has been raging on for over a year. Does the committee now regret choosing Abiy Ahmed as a Nobel Peace Prize winner?
The committee stands behind the decision made in 2019 of rewarding the Peace Prize to Prime Minister Abiy, and on the basis, on the picture you painted so efficiently in your introduction. Since then, the situation has changed. There is a war in Ethiopia, and the Nobel laureate is very unprecedented participant in that war as a prime minister. And that is very unfortunate, that the Peace Prize laureate is participating in a war, but we could not foresee this situation. And I would also like to underline that the situation in Ethiopia is very complex and complicated.
I 100% agree that, it's not as if you have a crystal ball. Of course, you could not have foreseen what would have happened in Tigray and what Abiy Ahmed would go on to do. That being said, though, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, I think it was roughly around a year and a half after coming to power. And of course, as you know, Ethiopia is a very complicated country just in terms of violence and in terms of ethnic divisions and that sort of thing. Given that you awarded him a little over a year after coming to power, do you think that perhaps you jumped the gun and he was given the award too soon?
This is a question often placed to the Nobel Committee. Have we given prizes too soon? I would like to reverse that question. If we were always sure of the outcome of a peace effort, the Nobel Peace Prize wouldn't have been as relevant as it in fact has been through 120 years. The Peace Prize is a reward for a success in a peace effort that Prime Minister Abiy definitely could claim, but also an aspirational prize towards continuing the path of peace. And the Nobel Committee making the statement we have made is not passing judgment on the war in Ethiopia, which ones of the parties are right or wrong. But what I am emphasizing is that carrying the Peace Prize is a very heavy cloak to carry. And it rests a certain responsibility on Prime Minister Abiy in contributing seriously to peace and entering negotiations instead of using military means only to solve the situation in his country.
A lot has been made of the fact that, of course, Abiy Ahmed did something unprecedented when he came to power, and that is the fact that he made peace with Eritrea, and that was huge, and there's been a lot of focus on that. However, at the time when he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, domestically there were a lot of issues. For example, at roughly around the same month, I believe, when he was given this award, there were reports of police in Addis Ababa essentially arresting protesters during demonstrations, journalists continually being harassed, internet shutdowns, that sort of thing. Was all of that taken into consideration when he was given this award?
Well, the negotiations of the Peace Prize Committee are absolutely confidential, so I cannot respond on the different elements that were taken into consideration. But what I can say is that the reasons we gave for the Peace Prize was also a great reformation of civil society and building civil society and enforcing democracy in Ethiopia and strengthening human rights. And Rome was never built overnight, but we emphasized these reasons when we awarded the prize. And I would also like to add that when we do make our decision, we are supported by consultants from international institutions and international universities. It is not only the subjective ideas of the members of the committee.
Okay, so there is a clearly a lengthy process in terms of choosing Abiy Ahmed or someone like Abiy Ahmed for this honor. The Nobel body just issued a very rare statement calling on Abiy Ahmed to end the war, saying that he has a very special responsibility to do so. What was interesting about the statement is that it came over a year after this war had actually started. Why did the body wait so long?
Well, first of all, we only emphasized that President Abiy Ahmed, not in his role as president, but in his role as a Peace Prize laureate, had an extra responsibility of contributing to peace. Why we came with the statement now is because the war has developed. It is a pressing humanitarian situation in Ethiopia. And it is an unprecedented situation that a Peace Prize laureate, so short after receiving the Peace Prize, is in fact involved in warfare. And we felt, even though we usually do not comment on the situation that is the background for a Peace Prize, that this unique situation needed some comment. As we also commented on the situation when Aung San Suu Kyi was challenged for her role in the Rohingya situation in Myanmar.
ወራህመቱላሂ ወበረካቱ። ወንድም ህዝብ የሆነው የግብጽ ህዝብ በፍጹም የመጉዳት ሐሳብም ፍላጎትም የሌለን መሆኑ
ወለይሰት ለደይና ኸይሩን ወሽክሩን
ወላሂ
I said tell me
والله لن نقوم بأي ضرر لن نقوم بأي ضرر للمياه في مصر
للمياه في مصر
وبأكد من خلال تأكيد فخامة الرئيس، لأن هو زي ما انت شفتوا كده كان بيكلمني دايما ويقول لي والله لن تجد ضرر مننا، فأنا حبيت ان انتوا تسمعوها منه وأنا بشكره عليها وانت سترى من المصريين برضو والله لن نضر بكم أبدا إن شاء الله. شكرا فخامة الرئيس.